study that has shown reversal of heart disease, which Dr. Dean Ornish, we saw it in Dr. Fleming's study, and in Dr. Esselson's study showed you reversal of heart disease. I'm not talking change in lab values with theoretical changes in the future. I'm saying reversal. We've got studies from Dr. Ornish showing an actual dropping of a PSA, which means curing of a prostate cancer, or at least holding it stable. We've got studies that show a plant-based diet over 2 years greatly decreases recurrences of inflammatory bowel disease like Crohn's disease. We've got studies showing this effect on arthritis. I mean, it goes on and on and on. So not just can I show you that a plant-based diet changes lab values, I could show that it actually affects disease processes, and that's what I'm not seeing as much from the ketosis studies. And the other thing about the ketosis studies, if you're eating a ketosis study, you're ending up eating a lot of meat. And that's where I think the problem is. So yeah, you could lose weight because you're, to the credit of the ketosis diet, when you're in ketosis, you're not very hungry because of the effects of the ketosis. A lot of patients get nauseated. I used to do it with, I still do ketosis diets with patients now right before surgery, and they feel nauseous, and so they can't eat as much. You might say, well, that's good, they're not eating as much. But what you're missing is the potential hazards of eating meat. And this is a great paper written by Dr. Wolk from the Karolinska Institute in Stockholm, Sweden. She's done a lot of research. She was part of the large World Health Organization's studies where they teamed up with the American Institute of Cancer Research, and they got real experts. I'm not talking like even me or Wolf or Hyman. We're not the real experts. The real experts are in a lab studying stuff. I mean, we're commentating. We're like commentators commentating on a football game. We're not the actual coach. We're the commentators. The guy's actually doing the study, and she wrote this excellent paper really reviewing all the different potential hazards of eating meat. And I even think she missed out on some of the hazards, but she's got this great graph here. If you're a science nut, I highly recommend you do that. But look, it doesn't matter if you're eating grass-fed meat. It doesn't matter if you're eating wild game. You're still, when you cook it, going to get heterocyclic amines. It's still going to have heme iron in it. Now, wild meat and grass-fed meat is going to have higher omega-3s, and that's going to help. Less saturated fat, that's good. But the bottom line is, if I'm telling a patient as a doctor that I want them in ketosis, I'm therefore going to be telling them there's ways to do ketosis through a vegan diet, but that's difficult. So in the end, I'm telling them to eat meat. But I know, and you know, Hyman can't say that's nonsense. You just can't say there's nonsense when we've got studies, I mean studies upon studies upon studies upon studies showing that meat is related with heart disease and its cancer. And so that's where I get the problem with. From a weight loss standpoint, there's many paths up a mountain. From a long-term longevity standpoint, I don't think you have to be vegan. Again, vegan is an ethical term, but I do think, and there was a recent conference where they got together experts from paleo and from Harvard and from the vegan diet, and they sat down and tried to come up with some consensus, and the consensus was eat more fruits, eat more vegetables, eat less red meat, eat less processed meat. That's something that we could all, I think, agree on. That's where the science is absolutely clear. And that's what we need to focus on. All right, I hope that helps. Thanks.